Coming up next is our community event.
Hello everyone, this is Shahir Masood and today I'll be interviewing the team of Aarzu and Mann on Sitaarre TV. And now let's meet the cast. First of all, we have Mr. Asaf Masood, who plays the role of Bilal on the show. And then next to him, we have Rebecca Fiola, who plays Shelly on the show. And next to me, we have Sher Ali, who plays the notorious Zuhaib.
Thank you.
So how are you guys doing today?
Good. Nice to be here.
Awesome. And I'm also very honored to be interviewing all of you today. I've definitely seen them work really hard at this show. It makes us so happy to see that this show is finally being released, and now we can all see what their work has been like.
Yeah, but it's been a hard, it's been a very tough journey for all of us. So I'm pretty sure that Poonam ji, who's invited us here for Sitaarre TV, thank you very much, Poonam ji. I've worked a lot with Kavita and Poonam before, and thank you for having us here. She knows the struggle behind the entire series as well. Initially, when we were thinking about writing a story for TV series, she was involved in that as well. So everybody knows that. So
That's great.
yeah.
Definitely. And this is a very unique TV show because it's set in the Bay Area, but it's all about a very Desi family and the culture and the sort of dynamic that plays out within families that are from South Asia. So I think that's something that really resonates with our South Asian viewers especially, is that they get to see this unique and new story. Which leads me to my first question really about this show, is how do you feel like a Desi TV show set in the Bay Area is different from one set in South Asia? How is the story different? How are the characters a little different?
If this question is for Rebecca, then we would have to explain Desi for her.
Why not? Even for all of our viewers.
Desi is basically mostly South Asian diaspora. So, that's
So Indians, Pakistani.
I get that.
what they do.
I've answered this a few times. I'll let Cher and Rebecca take a stab at it.
Well, it's an opportunity for for us because we live over here and we don't have any shows representing our culture.
Right.
So it's a platform which we are lucky to have, and hopefully it's gonna people will love what we're doing, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Definitely, representation is definitely very important. And I think today it really is like representation in every new movie that comes out. People look for more diversity
Yes.
and for more people being represented, and it helps us as a society become more accepting of each other.
Absolutely.
And so Rebecca, what do you think of this show as something that sort of brings you closer to your sort of Desi fellow citizens?
Well, it's very interesting. It's my first experience with kind of this group of individuals, and I mean, I was thinking on the way to the interview tonight that I'm not much different than Shelley, and that I'm married to a son of immigrants
Right.
from Italy. So it's not a very different situation. And so there are a lot of similarities between myself and Shelley, the character I play.
Definitely.
I've really enjoyed my experience. I've never met a warmer group of people. And it's just kind of opened my eyes in a way, and I've never been closer to
Right.
this culture. So for me, it's been just really lovely and exciting to do. And I feel like I've made new friends.
Oh, definitely, yes, yeah.
and it's just really been a joy, absolutely.
Perfect. And I think that is the point of this show, because your character, of course, on the show marries someone from another culture,
Right.
and it's something that not only can you relate to,
Yeah.
but we hope many people in our audiences will also relate to.
Absolutely.
Right. Actually, I have another question for Cher specifically. So we all know you and your character as this very intense guy on the show, with all those looks and lines and all that. And honestly, after I saw you, not only like the first look, but even a few episodes in, I was wondering what's your inspiration for this? Because like
Good question. Yeah.
in Desi cinema and on TV shows, we've had like many memorable villains, and I was just thinking, what's going on in Cher's head, Like, who is he trying to be?
Well, you know, as an actor, you have to take it as a challenge because you know you want to do every role. You know, whether
Right.
it's a good role, it's a bad role, and to me personally, for some reason, you know, I'm more attracted to bad roles.
Really? Okay.
Bad in what sense, dude? I mean, a negative role.
Negative. Bad boy role.
Bad boy role.
So it's
know
you know,
that.
so
Oh, okay.
so for me it was, you know, I was lucky that, you know, they had a certain role for me, and you know that which suited, I think, my personality. I must say, but it was I had done a villain, a negative role before.
Okay.
In my previous project, it was a South Indian film, and I think, you know, from there, you know, I picked up, and here I am. So hopefully, you know, the audience will enjoy it as well, and they'll be the judge if I did a good job or not.
No, definitely. I've personally been very much enjoying your performance.
Okay.
And yeah. Any specific villain that you think you were like, that's who I want to be? Like, I want to be as bad as that guy, you know?
You put me on the spot.
Oh, that's a good question, man. That's a good question. Let's see what Sher. All right, no pressure, Sher.
No
Yeah, no
pressure.
I'm thinking.
Audience is also putting a lot of pressure, I guess.
Okay, give me some time. I'll
We can get back to that.
Okay, basically, circle back to that. Yeah, no, we definitely will come back to that. Don't worry.
Okay.
So I know you guys are. I mean, you guys are all, you know, have full-time jobs and everything, and this, and on top of that, you did something that's been, you know, that hasn't been done before, which is a full season of a TV show produced entirely in the Bay Area.
Right.
That is based on the South Asian diaspora. So my question was how. It's definitely very challenging, and how is it different than a short film or any other project that you all have been on? What was it like working on a full series?
You go ahead.
Well, for me, it was. It felt like a feature film. As quickly as we moved, it was actually miraculous. The amount of work we got done, and the fact that we.
Amir also.
Oh,
like,
I'm
you know.
serious. It's just
And director.
very, very miraculous, and
Right.
and just as quickly as we moved, and it was tight, and it was organized, and I've never spoken Urdu before, so that was
There you go.
exciting.
Yes.
And being an English-speaking person, I had to, before every scene, be told what we're doing,
Right.
so that I knew where we were going and what those
Right.
words meant, and you know, knew the intent of each scene. But it's different in that we knew we had to accomplish something. We had a time period,
Right.
and we were rushing and making it happen. So I'm very impressed with the producer and director in the way it happened and that it got done.
It was exciting for us as
Yeah.
well to hear you speak Urdu. So I'll just say.
There's a question for you guys. Like, you know, whoever is watching, go check out and find which episode does Rebecca actually speak
Speak
Urdu.
Urdu.
If you guess it right, you know, send us an email and
There
we'll
is
send you a
one.
poster, right?
I'll definitely go. I also want to see that. But definitely. Also, I was wondering. So I know that, you know, Rebecca was as a non-Desi person on the show. It definitely felt like you were out of place, but you did a fantastic job,
Thank
might I say.
you.
But also, what was it like for you guys and all the other, you know, Indians and Pakistanis on the show to have, you know, people that don't necessarily understand the entire story or, you know, the sort of thing that's going on, but to work with them, and it definitely wouldn't have felt like a traditional
Right.
Pakistani or Indian drama, right?
Yeah. If you ask me as a producer, or ask Amir and Zulfiqar as the director and the writer, it was a big challenge because we just didn't have to narrate the script to all the you know, non-South Asian actors in English. We actually had to explain it with emotions. And we really wanted, because there are so many idioms or so many, you know, analogies that a lot of people say in Urdu, and then understanding and replying in English.
Yeah.
Like, there is a great scene that was just released in the last episode where Rebecca comes into the house and kind of gets on a one-on-one with Zoya and you know, Mona.
The main aunties.
And the main actor. And if you look at that scene, you guys have done an amazing job. I mean, I wasn't there on that set that day,
amazing.
but they are talking in Urdu and she's replying in English the same exact way. And how it was done, because Zulfiqar and Amir were like explaining the entire thing just step by step, by word.
Yeah.
So that was double, triple the work. But hats off to all the actors who actually do not understand Urdu and English or speak them, because they were amazing. Thank you, Rebecca, for doing that.
My pleasure.
Great.
It was an adventure.
Yeah.
It definitely sounds like one, you know.
It was.
To not only produce and work on such a long show in a very confined period of time, but then also have all these different layers to it, you know, of culture and language. But I think that's the purpose of television today, I guess, you know.
Yeah.
With we try to understand things that don't look familiar to us, and I think this show is definitely a sort of testament to that, you know.
Well, what I
Trying
was
to understand.
actually what I think when I watch each episode and I see just the beauty of San Francisco and the Bay Area shown, and it's literally a travelogue of the Bay Area,
Right.
and it's an extraordinary footage.
Right.
If you just look at this show as a modern day Romeo and Juliet set in the most stunning setting, that's really what this is. And it's kind of groundbreaking,
Right.
you know, that you're putting these, it's basically a rich family and a poor family, and the
Right.
struggles. So it's no different than Romeo and
Yeah, no, it
Juliet.
is very.
It's very similar. So it's
Very
just,
much like that.
it's a time, you know.
Time traveler from Romeo and
Yeah, it's a
Juliet.
time traveler, but we're, you know, here we are.
Time and place.
Whose
And-
character is this guy's then now? Because I don't remember Romeo and Juliet. Who was the bad guy in Romeo and Juliet?
I was there. That
You were there. There were plenty of bad guys.
Which reminds me, so which bad guy did you?
I'm gonna get back to it.
We're gonna.
Amresh Puri.
Amresh Puri.
oh.
Good answer. Good answer. I was gonna say Mugambo maybe. Yeah.
No, that's exactly, yeah.
That's exactly it.
But he has done such a good job in so many movies, so you know,
Right.
it's not fair to just point out one particular film.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
that guy was something,
Yeah.
you know. So it's definitely, you know, I have learned a lot. I can
Uh-huh.
never try to be like him, but you know, it's like
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Right, and just to let you guys know that, I mean, Rebecca was mentioning earlier that she's married to an immigrant as well.
Yeah.
And actually, that guy also played a character on our show
Yes.
as an FBI agent. So
Yes.
if you get a chance, you know, look for his character. And
We'll give you a hint.
yeah.
He looks like a very famous Indian actor. He looks like Boman Irani. Now,
Stuff. Yeah.
now let's see who can find.
Let's see which
Rebecca's
episode.
husband, and let us know. Let them know which episode.
We kind of gave away the entire thing by saying he was playing an FBI agent and he looks like Baman Irani.
Now they have
You have to guess.
Now they have no excuse. Man.
Yeah, right. There's a lot to see.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I know. I mean, I also interviewed, you know, for our other live segments, I interviewed Cheryl and Thomas, and he was the other FBI agent.
Right.
And that was an interesting interview that we had. But yeah.
Awesome.
So now I want to talk more about sort of the chemistry between the characters and the actors even on the show. So we know that we have, you know, almost like a love sort of pentagon going on. We have like 5 different characters, you know, and somebody's, you know, trying to get with somebody and all that's going on. So I just
Don't give away the story, man.
I mean, this is like, you know, the initial thing where you set it off, and it's more like, you know, all the characters are sort of it's a romance show, obviously.
It is.
So I just wanted to ask you guys, like, how has your experience been with romantic sort of drama before, and was this any different in any way, as far as, you know, like the sort of the chemistry goes?
Oh, you should ask this guy.
Of course.
He has like he's spinning the whole story around him.
Right?
Well, there was no romance for me. You're asking the wrong guy.
It's gonna wrong.
But it was like, you know, it's like, you know, if you're asking how was the relationship, you know, before the camera starts, you know, rolling, and after, it's like a very friendly environment, and then suddenly, you know, you get into the role, and it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. It's not that
You know,
friendly.
so you know, after the, you know, scene is shot, and then, you know, they are not so much friendly towards you, especially if you're playing a negative role. So you know,
It's
then you have to
true.
build up the friendly relationship again. But it was a fun experience. You know, it's just, you know, everybody was friendly. It was like a big family on the set.
Very much so.
So that
nice.
made the experience, all experience, you know, very, very nice.
Very good.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have been tough for you because, you know, I mean, it's always tough for the sort of the bad guy, I guess, you know, to
Jump back and forth.
jump back and forth, you know. Is definitely. What about you, Asaf? So you played the sort of nice, typical,
Typical, yeah.
typical.
Yeah, right. Typical.
You look like a nice guy.
You guys
Do
look
I
like,
look like a nice guy?
you guys look like you were the right place for the
Cousin
right
who
choice.
flies in.
Yeah, so it was actually, you know what? I would say that I had to cut back a lot on being a dramatic character as well, because I was producing the series as well as a first timer as well, with very low budget, very low resources. Pretty much to no locations finalized up until the last minute as well. From taking care taking care of food to water to snacks on the sets to cars and gas and everything. So I think it worked out best for me to play this character because I didn't really have to do a lot of research for that. It was a very nice character that does everything right and understands it.
So very
and I was
familiar
like,
to you.
I was like, okay, yeah, I can do this. I can jump back and forth behind the camera and in front of the camera real quick.
Right.
Because if it was not my scene, I was right behind the camera doing something, and then if there was a scene, I change and get back. So it worked out well in that case, and I really like the character because that's pretty much what happens in a South Asian family. Because if anybody is watching the show, you would understand that it's, as Shahir said, there's a love pentagon, right? So somebody's trying to be loving somebody, but trying to be getting married to someone else, but then being pushed to marry somebody else. So there are many nice people who kind of come and do this situation. So it was easy for me to do that.
Yeah.
So it was easy for you because it was very familiar to you. It was a little difficult for Shahir here.
Yeah.
What about Rebecca? Like, do you think?
Well, my love interest was my husband,
Right.
Ahmed, and he's a great actor. And he and I had great chemistry and a lot of sympathy towards one another. And I love my son, so it's
Right.
Shelley is all about love.
Right.
And she's funny too, so that made me happy. She's childlike, she's silly, she wants life to be great,
Right.
and she loves her life with her family. So that's who Shelley is. So that for me was the love story in this. Was Shelley was kind of the love bug of the whole, of all the episodes because I mean it's just she's just all about love and she's protective and she's not unlike me with my own family. So I relate to Shelley in that way and the funniness I relate to. Those are my favorite roles, are comedy roles. I mean I play dramatic roles, but comedy is where my heart is.
Right.
So that was really fun to be given the distance to dance in a silly way and do my Bollywood dance. And,
Right, yeah.
and I loved watching Amir laugh and have to stop the scene. He couldn't stop laughing.
We were not allowed to laugh on the
He
set.
could not stop laughing during that scene. I'll never forget it. He said, "Rebecca, you are killing me."
It was adorable.
And it was just so fun that day because he just let me go. He goes, "Do it again, do it bigger." And I said, "Okay, here we go." But so that was all. I mean, Shelley is all about love. That's who Shelley
Good,
is.
that's
Yeah.
good. And you can you relate to that, and also you mentioned about how you were dancing and singing and making sure everybody's having a good time.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of being an actor and working in a big unit is to make sure that you're comfortable with everybody, and to make sure that that your potential is also fulfilled in that way. Like you could dance and you could sing, and you made sure that kind of happened.
Yeah.
On there.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm thinking about is, so in the Bay Area, I'm sure there are a lot of hardworking professionals and a lot of students and a lot of young people, but they're all very much geared towards very serious professions, as I see, and I'm part of that as well.
Right.
But when they look at you guys and see that people over here also have fun, they do these crazy things where they make a TV show like this. So do you have any advice for people who are like sort of trying to get into that, who have ideas about something they want to write about or something they want to act in? Just how do you maintain a professional life, a sort of a daytime, full-time job, along with something in the arts and performing?
Well, you've got Northern California has a lot going on, but really the scene is Los Angeles, it's
Right.
LA.
Exactly.
But there's so many workshops you can take up here. There's so many ways that you can network with other people with a vision like maybe you have for a film, which is really how this came together as well.
Right,
It's
yeah.
just people coming together and saying, let's do this project. and funding it and finding the money. So you can make those things happen. But for me, I think it's about training. It's about going to workshops that's connecting to other people who know how to do this and for you to get what you need to make things happen. But always, for me as an actor, I'm always learning. I always want to take workshops. I always want to hone my skills and dramatic and comedic roles. I always want to be better at what I'm doing, singing as well, because I sing.
Right. Yeah.
But for me, I think as long as you're always studying, you're always trying to perfect your craft, you can always do that up here in San Francisco. That's available to you.
Right. So it's about being good. First of all, right?
You've got to have some talent.
You gotta have the talent. That's true. Cher, how do you keep yourself sort of sharp in your craft? How do you make sure you're a good actor? You remain a good actor.
Well, they say if there's a will, there's a way. So, I mean, it's a land of opportunity, and if there's a thing called passion,
Yeah.
and sometimes you just have to go after your goals and after your dreams, and you have to make a living as well. So,
Right.
so if-
Yes.
but everything is possible,
Yeah.
and once the first step is important. Once you take the first step, then things get easy. So that is the key. Just take that first step, and a lot of people they're afraid to take the step.
It's true.
Take it and then see the miracle. Like things will follow your way. So
Right.
The
I
passion.
think that's great advice for a lot of young people who are trying to do this, and people of all ages who have this passion.
Oh,
for
absolutely.
performance, I would say.
There are lots of no's out there.
Right. No, definitely.
So for me, before we end the show, I will be the last person to say something. I'm not trying to be a preacher here, but the biggest thing is life starts outside of your comfort zone. So, if you don't attempt anything, you will never know what you could have done and where you have achieved.
That's right.
And the very, very cliche statement is like no pain, no gain. So you have to accept it. Simple as that.
Right.
There are times when you would be literally just broken down to pieces, and it's collecting yourself and taking the next step. It's all about that.
That's right. Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right.
That's some great advice and some great insight about the show. Thank you so much, guys, for this interview.
Thank
I had a
you.
fantastic time.
Thank
And
you.
hopefully we can have more of these. And we can't wait to see what happens next on Aarzu and Mann on Amazon Prime. And this is Shahir Masood interviewing the very talented and very stylish cast of the new TV show Aarzu and Mann on Sitaarre TV. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, guys, and thank you, Poonamji, for having us here.
thank you very much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Be sure to watch Sitaarre every week to catch your favorite star profiles, celebrity interviews, community events, and more.
Sitaarre TV.
Sitaarre TV. Right here on
Sitaarre TV.
Sitaarre TV.
Sitaarre TV. Sitaarre TV.